So zoom out, you can admire the lovely violet colouring
Cape.
of Cape Violet.
Yeah, appropriately named.
Absolutely, it's like lot of thought went into the naming, no doubt, but it works. So Jazz Cash down in the bottom left-hand corner there. So we think he'll be trying to go for a C start after building a few mexes, perhaps. And Drone will be taking focus on the centre, either with bots or vehicles.
So I didn't realise. It turns out that while waiting there, Governor and Duck weren't actually ready. So they're suddenly conversing now. So it's going to take slightly longer for them to set up than normal. But they are now both in the game, and they are both chatting. So that's a good sign that they are present.
Well, that's always good. You start a match and they're away from keyboard. I think it's always a bit worrying.
Yeah. The thing is, the game will not start until everyone's ready. So it's there's not like an unfair advantage.
It'll start when I say it starts. Force start.
I like how Governor is saying that he sucks in the sea, yet decisively won the sea last game. That was a very interesting view upon himself there.
So he thinks he can do better on land.
To be fair, he's been more familiar with land, so he would think that he'll do better at land. What he's not aware of is who he's fighting in the sea. This time it'll be Jazz Cash, who I believe is a little bit more experienced than Drone at the Bar C situation.
Yeah, hopefully he'll build something other than big. Won't build a big ship too early.
Yeah.
I've been watching it.
Right, they've started.
Right, so the game is afoot. Jazz Cash in the corner, and he will be walking into the sea. Drone getting his eco up before hitting a bot lab.
One thing we note is that Governor here is going for 3 mechs at the start rather than 2. Last time he went for a 2 mech start.
Did he? I thought he went 3, but he may have gone.
He went 2 and then had he was gifted a engineer by Duck to build the rest of his eco up. This time round, Jazz Cash has actually followed Governor's previous build and got double mechs and a couple of wins into building the factory.
So the main difference there, obviously, is the speed at which you get the shipyard up. So while the shipyard is cheaper than the other labs in terms of metal cost, it's the cheapest. Bots are 650, shipyards 600. The ships themselves are metal expensive. Even though the low-end ships cost as much as like a hammer or a warrior, as opposed to, say, a peewee.
Yeah, so it's 165 metal for a basic ship compared to a hammer as 130. Substantial difference. Their energy costs are very similar for that class of ship. There's 1,400 energy for the basic ship and 1,300 for the plasma. So they're expensive. So to lose one of these ships kind of puts you down a fair bit.
We have a little lone peewee on its solitary scouting mission.
As you can also see here is that Duck has gifted a reclaim bot to Governor to help supply him with energy. Whereas Drone is just getting all of the reclaim for himself back there. Jazzcast has also come out of the water here to get that third mechs. Governor's just pushing out loads of builders.
Now, it's worth bearing in mind that Jazz Cash going in and then out of the water could be considered quite wasteful. Any time that your commander spends walking is time your commander is not being helpful and productive. Though, I see, he's walking over to the other pool now, so that actually makes a lot of sense.
So we just saw Duck give Governor some metal here, probably to rush out some more boats.
Spotted peewees crossing the straits.
Governor currently has 5 to Jazz's 4 in terms of corvettes.
That's the main difference at this stage, is the number of units out, because the teams themselves, economy-wise, they're basically neck and neck. So neither team has a significant advantage over the other with the order of the mexes yet.
One thing to note, though, is that most of the reclaim on Governors and Duck side is gone at this point, whereas a very large amount of it is still on Drone's side. However, Drone is doing a better job at getting those extra mexes that are around the back. Duck hasn't even... Duck's just going to them now.
Oh yes, the ones up on the central hill.
Indeed.
Like here, we can see the lone end construction bot with his duties. Perfect raiding place.
Up until now, the east side had a slight resource production advantage. Now the west side has a slight resource production advantage. Again, it's a negligible difference, though. I don't know how much that's going to play out.
So
One
Dutch
thing to note
radars
here-
watching the southern sea.
Notice Cartouche being a bit more defensive here with his units. He's not being as aggressive as he was last game.
Is that because he knows that his opponent has more ships? Because last time he realised his opponents didn't have many ships, and he was able to be very aggressive, whereas this time, does he know that the situation's changed?
Well, neither team have really pushed into that low area of water. They're all kind of leaving it for each other as more of a no man's land.
That's a good point.
They seem to be valuing the flanks more than the middle. I suppose in the last 2 matches that we've had, that most of the fighting has actually been on the flanks, and then the finisher, forces to come in and finish the job, have crossed the middle at that point.
Yeah.
Another thing to note is the mex points in the middle on those 2 hills, either side of the water, have not been taken in any of the games so far yet. Probably due to the fact that it takes too long to walk up there with an engineer.
Mind you, it's fairly hard to pick it off if you do build one there. Unit will actually just get round and up behind it.
Indeed. Here comes Cartouche's boats, trying to grab some peewees as they cross. Doesn't matter, he's got LLTs there that's going to pull those off.
More PoEs to come and intercept as well. That raid's not going to get anything done.
So one thing we're noting here is we've got assault frigates starting to come out here for Jazz Cash.
That's a good idea.
Whereas Governor is still building the destroyers.
Jazz Cash is actually still building corvettes at the moment. He's not properly swapped over to assault frigates yet. Assault frigates will typically beat destroyers. Destroyers' advantage is obviously they can shoot underwater, which, given the impassable middle for submarines, is not a big deal.
Exactly. It's
Duck.
maybe good for killing some mechs, but...
Duck is building a hovercraft platform near the middle.
Yeah, same as last time. It worked well for them, so, if it ain't broke, why fix it?
Unfortunately, Jazz Cash is kind of letting Duck cross with Peewees. He's obviously slightly
Drone.
intimidated by Governor's naval forces.
Drone has no units really to speak of at this point.
He's swapped over to a hovercraft plant, so he's gone hovers, but he's not reclaimed his bot lab, which is an unusual thing, because normally you want to reclaim that metal and invest it straight into units.
Maybe he
Lot of
doesn't feel pressured enough.
Governor has reclaimed his shipyard and is building a new one right near the middle. That is a risky play.
What's that? A couple of nano turrets.
Yeah, he's got 3 nano turrets, now he's going for a shipyard, so he'll be able to pump out units much closer and respond much more rapidly. But
course.
if he gets overrun...
Of course, the other team don't know that he has that shipyard there.
No, they can see a lot of dots, but they probably think they're all ships.
Which is why they're being so defensive.
Yes.
Now he's going in.
I suspect this is a hit and run raid. He's got speed and mobility on his side, yeah. So he's just going to go in and out, in and out. He might even start repairing his ships in between these things. I think using the hovercrafts to just cross the middle all the time is not the best use of them. Down the bottom, Duck with a five hovercraft fast attack group. They are going to find some tidal generators for Jazz Cash. That's
They've got an engineer.
Yeah. And what was nearly a finished torpedo launcher as well.
I think Jazz saw the naval yard.
That would make sense.
Yeah, drone's got units there.
Yeah,
still
you
as
see
well.
it now, yeah.
Oh, that goes a lot of the tidal generators.
Yeah. Metal produced is 22.9 versus 22.7, slightly in favour of Drone and Jazz Cash.
And we now have those hovers on the ground. That LLT is not going to get up in time.
No.
Not if
They
he
are
notices
both
it in time.
Very damaged though. He could probably reclaim those with that engineer.
It's worth noting with hovercraft scouts, their DPS output is actually quite high. They are very flimsy, they're very fast, but they do a lot of actual damage. And Jazz Cash has realised that he needs to do something about this. If he kills the nano turrets, that's quite a big deal. But I don't know that he's got the forces to pull it off.
He's got some, so he's already done some economic damage.
Yeah, Drone's helping him superbly as well.
But Duck's also got a lot of hovers there as well. Reclaim in that area though is going to
Be huge.
And
The
it goes
shipyard is
down.
down, but Duck has a lot of hovers in place to prevent the West team fully taking advantage of it.
So he should hopefully be able to get that back up and running quickly.
Yeah, the problem is he doesn't have any resurrection subs because he has to build a whole new shipyard to be able to get those. Because why would you build them if they can't cross the middle? But if you could resurrect all that, that would be huge.
There is a large amount of ships going out of the factory
Yeah.
for Jazz Cash now.
Lots of corvettes taking full advantage of their speed.
They're set.
Drone-
Sorry.
Obviously, Drone still hasn't reclaimed his tier 1 bot lab. Very interesting decision from a person who knows the reason for it. I assume he's just forgotten.
Sure, Drone's been under a huge amount of pressure, but he has been slowly taking back the North Sea.
Oh, completely.
Been shifting from yellow to blue. So
Yeah.
He's just slowly reclaiming the mines that are there. Same thing Duck's trying to do at the bottom. He's slowly reclaiming the extractors.
Yeah.
Oh, Duck's sending a raiding party south.
So this time they're building a laser turret on the water to be able to take care of the hovercraft. Has the advantage of a lot of range as well, so there's a fight taking place just near it. It'll be contributing quite a lot.
there's a question about whether the flanking bonus applies when you know it's one of your units, one of your teammates' units.
I don't know is the honest answer. I suspect it does.
Is the flanking bonus the same thing as that dynamic shield?
No,
that-
I don't think so.
One thing to note is that Drone and Jazz Cash are getting a lot of this reclaim in the middle. Well, I say that, maybe not. I've just saw all the nano turrets that are back up at the back. Cartouche is building a second naval factory now.
I assume he'll reclaim the first one once the second one's finished.
I
The
think
second
it's
one is
been
much
reclaimed, hasn't
more-
it?
No, he lost one. He then built another one with his com, and now he's rebuilt the one that he lost previously.
Okay.
This time with a lot more in the way of defences. Duck with a brilliant hovercraft attack here, really stopping Jazz Cash from being able to push the advantage in the middle.
That's
I don't think.
important.
I don't think that the hovercraft themselves are going to achieve a lot in terms of damage, but they did pull him away and buy Governor quite a lot of breathing space.
Given the number of decades that are actually on their way, wow, Cartouche has managed to get quite a lot of his own decades back
Yeah,
into the field. That's quite a recovery.
really is. Metal-wise, we're looking at a 51 to 49 advantage in favour of West scene. It's a small advantage. I'd imagine a large portion of it is reclaim related as well. The point being the teams are neck and neck economically. Drone building a second hovercraft platform in a moment.
Duck's got a large amount of hovers that look like they might be coming straight through the middle where there is no units to defend them.
Oh, this could be bad.
So Cartouche's ships were distracting Jazzcash, although they're catching up.
So Duck has built a load of anti-air hovercrafts. Presumably they're expecting the unexpected bombing raid, thus making it expected.
They're going to get the unexpected, non-existent air raid.
Yeah. To be fair, Drone and Jazzcash have both shown that they enjoy swapping into Tier 1 and getting the Blade Wings. But I think, yeah, they're both armed, so that's not really viable here.
Yes, there's still a fight going on in the middle, but we just see perfect for raiding.
Jazzcash's commander is in trouble now. He doesn't have any power, and the hovercraft can kite him. Yeah, this could be quite a big problem. If their economy takes a massive hit from these hovercraft, then they're in serious trouble.
I'm kind of surprised that they've gone into a pause. Kind
They
of
did
surprised.
say
pause.
that they
Yeah.
did say they had food on the way.
Yeah.
Although I would have expected someone to have posted something.
Yeah.
That was a quick mill.
Yeah. I suspect maybe it was just someone knocking at the door, in all fairness. Yeah. I think
Drone is not moving anything. Oh, no, there we go.
Drone is doing stuff. He's not AFK. If he doesn't deal with those hovercraft, I think they're going to essentially win the game for them because they'll kill so much economy.
Yeah.
The power production in particular is massively in favour of East, and that's a really good way of telling how much economic damage was done, because you need that power for Tier 2, which, if the game goes on any longer, is going to be a very viable option.
That battle's getting a bit fiercer in the middle. I'm trying to watch the raid. It's like, is the battle in the middle more interesting?
Go with the battle in the middle at the moment. The raid is just running around. It looks like it's in the process of being cleaned up. It's gotten some damage, and at some point I'd recommend going back to have a look at it. But oh no, it's still going. It's destroying some nanos and it's destroying some windmills. So drones production it's taken a noticeable hit, but it has now been cleaned up. So the battle in the middle is definitely more interesting.
In total, across the entire map, there are 65 Corvettes on both sides.
That's quite a few corvettes.
No one wanting to take the plunge to different ships.
They've basically got the same numbers of corvettes as well, so neither team has a solid advantage. It's all swarming tactics. It's how do you position them? You need to get the concave, which here is very difficult.
This is almost synchronized swimming.
It really
Bar
is.
style. I don't know about you, but I think I'd give both teams a 10 out of 10.
So one thing to note is on the north side, the drone has built some coastal torpedo defences on that ridge, forcing Governor to go more on the right-hand side.
That's a good point. They've got quite a bit of range on them as well. Everything up from them until you get to the heavy laser turret, they cover, and they do quite a bit of damage. And they're very hard to hit from there as well. I've gone up against those with the destroyer. They beat the destroyer, I think.
This is crazy. Lovely large battle.
Yeah.
Duck's about to do the same, placing some coastal defences on that ridge line.
Yeah, sensible.
Oh, Jazzcast switching out of Corvettes for Skeeters.
Oh, so Skeeters have got more range? Oh no, they don't. The core one has more range. I don't know why he's gone for Skeeters.
Maybe a misclick.
Oh no, he knows there's air.
Ah.
He must have realised that there was air
Oh
coming.
my word, there's a big air raid coming down
That
in
is
the
just
south.
in time.
Let's have a look at that.
He must be very happy with himself having just switched over now.
Not gonna be enough though.
If they can wreck this naval base.
No, he spread out the bombers too much. He's sending them inland now, but AA hovercraft is really strong.
They're going up to drone space.
Just to keep some easy targets.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's not many easy targets there. He's still building more stuff though.
Yes, the only easy target there was themselves.
Hey! Back in the middle, the numbers are very comparable. I think Governor has slightly more corvettes than Jazz Cash, but only slightly.
Jazz Cash is actually switching off of corvettes and going back to destroyers.
Oh, that's interesting. So destroyers have more range than assault frigates.
But
So
they're
that-
very slow turret to turn.
Very slow.
Not
so-
really the best choice versus corvettes.
Well, no, unless you have your own corvettes to screen for you. That's what I'm wondering if he's thinking.
As long as they don't get the surround.
Oh, Tech 2
Ooh.
shipyard being built.
Oh,
That's...
if he's given time to produce out of that, he'll win the fight. Hovercraft are really effective right up until the enemy goes tier 2, because you don't get tier 2 hovercraft. And they've got enough of an army that they can block while they build up that shipyard.
Yeah, that is definitely going to be built. 3, 2, 1, and it's built.
I'm assuming cruisers after they get their first advanced destroyer. Oh, hang on. Oh, sorry, I thought it was in range of the torpedo launcher for a moment, but it's not.
It wants to be.
It really does. Drone really wishes it was in range of the torpedo launcher.
No coastal artillery batteries, though. You were saying you were expecting.
I was. Governor has 31 corvettes versus the 23 of Jazz Cash, who's just started building his tier 2 shipyard.
One thing to note, though, is that Jazz Cash has a couple of engineer ships there getting that Requiem.
That's quite a big deal. However, Jazz Cash and Drone, they have a 6k out of 100 metal advantage at the moment. So even though they have an advantage, it's only 5%. It's not a big deal. Drone is swapping into seaplanes.
Oh. What are we seeing? Seaplane gunships, eh?
Yeah, they're very effective, especially in a tier 1 game. In a more normal game, it depends how well the enemy prepares. If they've only prepared for basic tier 1 aircraft, then the gunships will survive quite a long time. If they've prepared for a proper bombing raid, the gunships won't last that long, but they will get a few salvos in.
The first Tech 2 ship is now on the field.
Yeah, it's a cruiser, and there's a second one not far behind it. They significantly outrange corvettes. They're very tough, and the turret isn't that slow either.
It's going to be another 1 minute for Jazz Cash's one here. He seems to be having some significant battle issues.
Yeah, he's not doing nearly as well for metal, unfortunately. He's actually got more metal than Governor does overall, though. What I would consider doing in Jazz Cash's situation is pull some of my ships back and reclaim them, so I could swap them out for better ships, while keeping enough to keep pressure on. But again, the balance is how many is enough? How greedy can you be?
So another thing to note is that Duck has transitioned into Tech 2 bots at the same time as that. Drone has reclaimed one of his factories and also gone Tech 2 bots.
Ooh, but he's putting all of his resources into the seaplanes at the moment.
Indeed. There are some fighters up, not many, there are a few.
They've got 6 at the moment. They're not producing any more. The fighters will be very effective against the gunships, but there's 10 gunships so far. If they include even a few swarmers with them, the gunships are going to have free reign if all the anti-air is fighters.
Oh, here come the Fidos. And Drone is going sniper bots.
That's a nice idea. They've got lots of energy, not much metal. Snipers are a really good choice, especially if you've got things to spot for them. So you either need the radar targeting facilities or spotters, because they will not be accurate enough with most radar blobs. So Drone considered using his seaplanes, but he decided not to. I don't know what the reason for that is. There's no AA here, maybe he just didn't want to reveal them yet. But if not now, then when?
Maybe he just didn't feel we had enough presence on the field to risk putting too much into.
He's sending them in now. He's got 12 of them now.
First missile cruiser has been built as well.
Oh, they are annoying to fight against. But they're better at basic killing than... Oh yeah, he's going to kill the torpedo launchers with that. That's sensible.
Here come the fighters.
Yep.
She's going to go right over.
Some anti-air bots.
Yeah.
So using the fighters defensively, they would have been really effective.
Oh, but drone's comms under attack. There's fine. You can do again,
Yeah, he's completely fine. And there's a lot of reclaim for him now. 2.5k of it.
Bit of an unsuccessful push, but it did clear up the coast.
So those seaplanes are going to be used to clear up the torpedo launchers, I imagine. Economy-wise, Jazz Cash and Duck. Sorry, not Duck. Jazz Cash and Drone ever so slightly ahead of Governor and Duck, by about the same amount still. Drone, interestingly, hasn't built a tier 2 constructor that I can see. He's not taking advantage of the tier 2 lab to get the economy up, which I feel is a mistake.
Governor's starting to build some flak ships now as well. That advantage he has in the air is not going to last for very much longer.
No, a few flak ships will tear apart the gunships because they group up so much and flak has so much AOE. Not
So
AOE.
the heavy ships going north.
We also have an amazing battle taking place at the bottom as 2 engineers reclaim each other.
Oh my goodness.
Bottom right. Doesn't matter as Duck has won.
Hey! That was a close fought battle, but well played, Duck.
Battle of the match.
Definitely.
Forget the hundreds of ships that were launching at each other and the planes coming in and the anti-air there. What we wanted was 2 engineers trying to reclaim each other.
Yeah.
Potentially got some damage potential going on here.
Yep.
We've got a bunch of air coming in.
The
They
problem
do
is
have a
that-
chainsaw.
Yeah, the chainsaw will do very well. If the gunships fly straight in and focus the chainsaw, I think they'll make it.
He's also rushing out air fighters though.
Yeah, he is now. So he's denting the economy, but I don't know that this is enough. Now that he's got tier 2, he's got a fusion plant over here. He doesn't care about those winds anymore.
Yeah, see, he also could have maybe focused down that flak airship at the north and then dealt with those Tech 2 ships, but instead is trying to rely on these snipers, which are...
Uh-oh. See, if he'd gone straight for that buzzsaw, or the chainsaw, sorry, with the gunships, I think he'd have made it, but he lost a few of them and he couldn't take it out in time. Don't get me wrong, he wrecked the metal makers.
They need to do something about that north side, though.
Yeah, north side is not going nicely. They've got the missile cruiser there, or missile frigate there. Yeah, no, missile cruiser. That'll be able to shell the factory quite easily without getting too near it. They outrange annihilators and doomsday machines.
Little radar going up.
Here, all that navy is now moving to the north as well. Also, something you don't see very often: mines.
Oh, I love mines. I thought you were going to say snipers shooting at ships,
Oh no!
because you don't see that often either, and they're very effective at it.
Oh, there's a jet missile ship.
Yeah, these
Governor is
hovercraft.
having some energy issues here.
Yeah,
Right.
that's not going to last. The hovercraft aren't going to do anything against those tier 2 ships. They just force them back momentarily.
Also a land push. Duck happening just off the coast.
Yeah. He slightly outnumbers drone stuff, but he's got uses with him, so he's going to be careful not to push forwards too fast.
What
Wow.
happened with Jazz Cash's batteries? He's rebuilding a new one.
He may have reclaimed it to get the metal to build the underwater fusion.
Oh.
Now, the thing to be careful of there is the underwater fusion costs 5,200 metal, whereas the above ground one costs 4,300. So it's significantly more expensive to build the underwater one, but it is safer from things like bombing runs. Unless it's a torpedo bombing run.
And seaplane factory goes down.
Yeah. I feel like it had served its purpose though.
Yeah, it didn't really feel like it was a major loss.
No.
The issue is now, though, is that I feel like Jazz Cash has lost naval at this point. He's got pretty much no ships left. Cartouche has a lot. Drone is about to suicide his commander into a bunch of Zeuses, which he does.
Yep.
And Drone's pretty much lost land as well. He's about to lose his base as well.
Yeah. If they still had the missile cruiser, this would be a lot easier for them, because those cruisers can't hit very much from there. The missile cruiser, that can rain down damage on the base very easily. Drone had a lot of energy. I don't know where it's gone. I think it might have been tidal generators. Oh, and the wind dropped, because he was building snipers and doing well with them.
Another engagement in the sea, but I think Jazz Cash is a bit outclassed there.
Yeah, I think that this is leaning towards east side winning. It's not over yet. They definitely have the advantage at the moment.
I think at the beginning of the game it also looked like that, and then they Drone and Jazz Cash really sort of made a big surge and pulled forward and managed to level the playing field.
Oh, completely.
We also have 3 sniper bots running in here versus Raider hovercraft. I mean, he does have 1 sniper bot that there just slowly plucking away, but there we go. He's managed to clear it up.
So it'll depend how fast can he retake that land now. That's the real question. If he can't retake it quickly or soon, then the east side are going to push their advantage. They've got a massive economy advantage already, I think. I take that back. West side are only 12k ahead of them in terms of metal production, but they are still ahead of them, or metal produced.
Got a bunch of zippers coming in now. Zippers are just gonna,
They're going to chew up the fast attack hovercraft, which at this stage are not really a great investment. Ideally, I'd like to be seeing a reclaiming of the hovercraft factory from Drone, and then production of snipers, Mavericks, and Fidos maybe.
I think he's hoping that with Governor's navy to the south that he can run his raiders across the top and do some damage.
That's a good point.
But he is just going to run into that minefield.
How many of them are going to make it through? Because they're not all that bunched up.
Is that up in the north?
Yeah.
Oh, there they are. Boom.
Yeah. So
3.
3 of them got through.
But at the same time, a lot more than 3 boats got through for Governor.
Yeah.
God, zippers are in, doing a lot of damage. The cruisers leaning up the bay.
Yeah, this is probably game at this point, I think. I can't see how West are going to pull this back. The enemy is in their base so much. The geothermal's going to go down in a moment. Drone's about to lose a bunch of his metal makers.
There we go. Bunched them all together.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, you often do, because you have to spread them out so much for them to not be a chain reaction, and you just don't have space for that. So Drone is losing his tier 2 constructor. So that's not great.
Yeah, Governor's just clearing up now. We've got a long-range battle submarine.
There's a lot of fighters on repeat in Duck's base. I think he may have forgotten about them. Fast attack hovercraft versus zippers clearly goes in the zippers' favour.
Yep,
He is now
another.
building hover tanks though, which will do better against the zippers, but I think there's just too many zippers still.
Here come the Tech 1 Air, probably just more of a scout here at this point.
They're all fighters.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not even going to send them sack. He's got 76 of them. So he must
switching
know
to
that
gunships now.
That's sensible. So he must know that he destroyed the seaplane lab. So is he expecting like a land-based aircraft plant? Very sensibly, Drone has built some, what What's they called again?
Pitbulls.
Pitbulls. I was going to say, they're not bulldogs, it's the tanks. He's built the pitbulls. They have pushed away the zippers very effectively. But that territory is still not controlled, and it's being reclaimed by Duck.
Yep, Duck has established a beachhead on the opposite side of the bay.
Jazz Cash is getting pushed in as well at the same time. About to lose the last of his navy. I don't know if the Serpents were necessarily the right choice here.
Not against cruisers, they're not, no. If you had stuff to screen for them, I think they could be effective. But no, he's just... I don't know what he could have done that would have turned it around is the problem. Yep, and that's game.
There we go. So, Governor and Duck win that one.
And that means they win 2 rounds, which means they're into the final. Which also means we need to play 1 game of... let me get the names. 1 game of Flash and Sabotage versus Jazz, Cash, and Drone to determine who will be 3rd place.
I'm just going to try and message them now and get them involved in that.
Which gives Cartouche and Duck a little break before the final.
Which map are they playing on?
I believe stage 4, isn't it? Yep. Will be the Great Divide.